So October revenue was 215 US and looking to double for November.
Meet Kim Vopni, the Vagina Coach, who's ready to reveal her secrets on how she has built a 7-figure pelvic floor coaching business, guiding women back to strength and confidence worldwide.
I do what I do because I saw a void. My mom suffered with pelvic floor challenges. So growing up, I actually thought I was never going to have kids because of that. I really wanted a different story than my mom's.
Have you ever asked yourself the question, how some women bounce back and feel amazing after having a baby?
We have such a missed opportunity to educate people about what the pelvic floor is and what they can do during pregnancy and also in the postpartum years. And also people who've never been pregnant. Being a fitness professional, the pelvic floor is a group of muscles. And why wasn't anybody talking about how we can train the pelvic floor with principles of fitness?
I'm Matt Bellman, and this is $1 Million Creators, where you learn how to become a $1 million creator yourself. Welcome, everyone. Welcome Kim Vopni to this show. Kim is known as the Vagina Coach. She is a certified fitness professional, a published author, and a women's health educator. She offers pelvic health programs and coaching for women in all life stages. Welcome, Kim, to the show.
Thank you. Really excited to join you.
Thank you. To start off, why do you do what you do?
I do what I do because I saw a void. The first time I saw it was my mom. My mom suffered with pelvic floor challenges. So growing up, I actually thought I was never going to have kids because of that. And then when I did grow up and got married and decided I wanted to start a family, I really wanted a different story than my mom. So it was sort of through that process of education, realizing that pregnancy and birth are not the only contributors to pelvic floor dysfunction, but they are a main one. And we have such a missed opportunity to educate people about what the pelvic floor is and what they can do during pregnancy and also in the postpartum years, but also then for the rest of their life, and also people who've never been pregnant. And so I saw this void that nobody was talking about. And also being a fitness professional, the pelvic floor is a group of muscles. And why wasn't anybody talking about how we can train the pelvic floor with principles of fitness? So I wanted to change that.
That makes sense. Thank you. What did you do before all of the Vagina Coach?
Well, I was a personal trainer way back. So that after I finished university, I wasn't really totally sure what I wanted to do. I always have had a passion for fitness and nutrition. So I became a personal trainer. I did that for a number of years, but got really burnt out with one-on-one clients and teaching classes and that type of thing. So I left that, went into the corporate world. I worked in HR for a number of years. And it was during that time that I got married, started a family, and there was a product I used in my pregnancies called the Epino, which is from Germany. And I became the Canadian distributor for that product. And that was kind of what launched me into this little side thing that then eventually led me down the path of being a full-time thing.
Right. Let's talk about that side thing that became much bigger. So what's the offer? What do I get as a customer?
Well, initially I had an e-commerce store. So I was selling products to consumers through a Shopify store. And then I started to create some programs that I was doing in person. And then, the online world was there was courses being created. So I created some online courses. And so it's been really an evolution over 19 years of starting with physical product, transitioning into a little bit of both, and now strictly being digital based and kind of Zoom coaching, similar to how we're talking here now. And that's allowed me really to scale a lot bigger. So when I started my business, I couldn't even have imagined of how my business is structured now. And thankfully, technology has introduced things along the way that allowed that to happen. And the e-commerce store I shut down because one of the products was removed from the Canadian market. And that was just sort of almost like a message like, okay, time to transition to digital.
Makes sense. All your offers today are online. There's nothing. Yes. Okay, got it.
Yeah.
And what do I buy? Like what are I bet there's different offers, right? Some things more high price on the back end, some things more low price on the front end. What are the offers?
Yeah, I've gone back and forth. I've had lots of people telling me I should be doing high ticket coaching. Over the years, that's never felt good for me. And my audience that's just not where they're at. They want the kind of quick hits. So people come in with an introductory method, an introduction to my method, which is $17. They get an opportunity to add on a workshop specific to menopause, because most of the people who are coming into my program are in the kind of perimenopause, menopause phase of life. That's a quick little order bump. And then they're also then given an option to join the membership at a discount for yearly, like a yearly recurring membership. So that's as it stands right now. Yes, some people, one-offs, could book an individual session with me, but the majority of people are going in through the membership.
Makes sense. The $17 is a one-time?
17 for as a one-time fee for lifetime access to the introductory method. And if they choose the menopause, it's also, they get lifetime access to that. But it's giving them a teaser. It gives them a few exercises. It gives them a few workouts. It gives them some information. But if they want the coaching, if they want the follow along workouts, if they want all the other stuff, that's where the membership comes in.
It's tripwire, essentially. Get to know you, build up trust, and then they can buy the membership.
Right.
Which comes at what price?
$147 for the year if they pay annually. So if they were to purchase the membership, it's $27 a month if they just wanted to pay monthly. But if they join for the year, it's $147.
Yeah, that makes sense. Cool. And what's the funnel?
What do you mean by, like, where do I host it, or how do I get them in?
How do they buy? They just like download the app from the store and they buy there, or?
I initially started with the app in the store and had a few different pricing models in there. And then I wanted to change my marketing a little bit and have more control and have more access to analytics. So I switched to the hidden pricing option. So people come either, usually ClickFunnels, there's a funnel, but through Kajabi. So that's where people are coming in. And then I use Zapier to get people into the app.
Makes sense. So ClickFunnels, Kajabi, and then a webhook to Zapier, you get access to Passion.
Correct.
Okay. How do you deliver the value? I guess through the app. That's it, or there's any other tool like Zoom or anything else on how you deliver value?
So if people get just the introductory information, they're also then part of an email funnel that's also giving them value about other aspects of vaginal and vulvovaginal and pelvic health. So kind of little tips as to also things that they might get access to in the membership. People who choose to come into the membership, there's 2 weekly group coaching calls that people can come on through Zoom. So I share the links for that in the chat and also via email. So people, it's optional, but they can come on, they can ask questions, they can be part of the community, recognize they're not alone. I also use the community function in the app a lot. So I'm posting prompts in there to ask people what their favorite exercises were, what were their goals when they started the 28-day challenge. Today is actually the midway point. So what changes have they noticed? So get people to comment and share pictures. I share a lot of what I do as well to try to build that, show that, I have a bedhead sometimes when I'm doing my workout, or sometimes I lose my balance when I do my work. I'm a real person as well, to hopefully get them to be able to relate. But also they can see what other people are asking or sharing in the comments. And there's a lot of learning that can happen from that as well.
That makes sense. Nice. And when did you launch? Can you take us on the timeline maybe?
Well, I had I was using another app platform that I started, I believe it was 2018. I think I started with that one. And I knew I'd wanted an app for a long time, but it was cost prohibitive. And this new platform came out and they were helping fitness professionals run challenges. And so that's where I created my first 28-day challenge. I used this app platform. It was fantastic. The limiting factor was there was nothing for me to progress people onto. I just had to keep creating challenges, which wasn't the philosophy of what I was trying to teach. And then Passion came on the scene. I mean, it had been on the scene for a while, but that's when I was starting to pay more attention, looking for other solutions. And so this December will be 2 years that I've been using Passion, that I transitioned to the platform. So I've been kind of dabbling or trying different things for a number of years. Yeah. The Passion app 2 years ago, but the actual funnel that I'm using right now has been about 6 months.
Makes sense. Let's talk about success. How many paying customers do you have today?
Well, it's like the last couple of months, the growth has been tremendous. So I'm getting about 1,500 people per week currently.
Wow. Why is that?
I partnered with a new marketing person.
Who runs paid traffic or?
I received an email one day that said, "Do you want an investor for your business?" And I almost deleted it because I get emails like that all the time. And so I happened to pay attention to this one, and a small boutique marketing firm that work with niche coaches, and they leverage paid ads, which I have dabbled in. I've had a few different companies and people helping me with, but I never really had a lot of success. So I was a little bit hesitant, but they had a model of profit share and also an initial investment to help get the ads going. So it was a no risk, no brainer opportunity.
50/50
And
profit?
60/40 profit share.
Nice.
And it's incredibly, I don't know why more people don't do it, to be honest, or ask for it from their service providers. And now he's become much more than just a service provider. I view him very much as a partner, and we will actually be incorporating a separate business to really grow this and
Amazing.
continue to scale.
And they do everything back to back, including customer service and all the pains of the.
Yeah, right now I'm handling the customer service. We're actually just starting to interview people, VA people who can start taking over the customer service piece. So he is currently doing everything to do with marketing, with automations, copy, anything to do with promoting the business. And I'm currently handling the customer service right now.
Makes sense. Just real quick, how many people buy annual? How many people like what's the share of annuals versus monthly?
I actually don't know that percentage, but I very, very, very few people are paying monthly. Like I'd say 95% are in the yearly.
Got it. 147 times 1,500. That's more than 200K a week. That's like literally $1 million a month.
Yeah, I'm not quite there, but so this has been the last couple of months, but so October revenue was 215 US for the month, and looking to double for November.
Amazing.
Yeah, kind of crazy.
It's annual recurring, isn't it?
Mm-hmm. Wow. Yeah, and we don't yet know. We haven't had enough time to see what's going to be that retention. So what's going to be at that year mark? How many people are going to stay? We don't yet know that.
Okay, so 220 October, now 450 November is the plan. What, like a year ago, how was it back then?
Well, we started in April, and we just did a lot of testing, trying to see what's going to work. Found what we found with a lot of different testing was working, and that's been, it was 100K in September, 215 as I mentioned in October. Right. So scaling, and then now looking at also potentially adding a physical product line that would be drop ship for products that are specific to what I coach and preach and promote.
Got it. Supplements.
That would be one. Yep, for sure.
Yeah, makes sense. And so like today, this is actually the main source of your income. Like that's the thing you focus on. You want to grow that big, right?
Correct.
Nice. Okay, let's maybe talk about lead gen next. So how do you get customers? I mean, through the partner that does paid on Meta, I guess?
Paid. Yes. Yeah. So tested all the different platforms, and Meta was the one that came out on top. Tried YouTube, tried TikTok, tried Google Ads, all this sort of stuff. I had also worked with a different person on a similar, revenue share model for SEO for a couple of years, and that really didn't produce. It didn't really convert. I optimized Pinterest. That didn't really convert. So biggest thing has been paid advertising for sure, but I also do in-person speaking. I've authored books that sell, and I leverage social media as much as I can. I have a decent following on social media that helps.
Yeah, for next question, actually, like what's the organic, or like what's your audience size today?
If I was to add everything up, it's 200-ish thousand between the different platforms.
Got it. And a year ago, ballpark the same, or?
A year ago was probably 150-ish.
Okay, so good growth as well. Nice. Yeah. And mainly US, Canada?
Mainly US, followed by Canada. So US is usually around the kind of 54-ish%. Canada is somewhere around the 30 to 40-ish, and the rest is Europe, Australia.
Yeah, that makes total sense. Your biggest channel today?
Biggest social media channel?
Yeah.
Instagram.
And you started initially on Instagram?
I started with Facebook. Well, actually, yeah, I started Facebook when it started to transition. Then I was on Twitter for a while and sort of followed the different paths. And And then I was very reluctant actually to go to Instagram because I was already having a difficult time managing just Facebook and Twitter. But I loved being there, and it just where I started to get more traction. So that's where I spent the most time. I had way back in the day had a YouTube channel where I put a few different videos for the e-commerce products that I had, like 15 years, like very early YouTube, but I never leveraged, I never grew that. But there was just a few of those videos are 300, 400,000 views that have just kind of carried the channel a little bit. And in the last couple of years, I've tried to pay a little bit more attention about how I do my videos and how I use the hooks and the wording and all that kind of stuff. So that remains a platform that I feel like I'm very under leveraged on. And I really want to spend some more time building that. But Instagram's where I enjoy hanging out the most.
Okay, so like if you were to ask you what's the channel with the biggest potential, then you think that YouTube
and TikTok.
Interesting.
Different marketing though, because TikTok is very much, you have to just like 15 seconds, give them one little thing. And I love talking and teaching. So it's hard for me to just say one thing, because that's part of also what I hate about social media is you don't get the whole story. YouTube, the long form is where I love doing that type of video, because it's where I can actually teach and provide value to people. I don't feel like, I'm not saying TikTok's not valuable, but it's not the kind of value I want to deliver. So I don't love being there, but I know that I would benefit from being there more.
That makes sense. How does it all go together, like this machine, right? You have paid marketing over here through a partner, you have Instagram, you have maybe starting with YouTube again, you do some shorts. Like how does the marketing engine look like? Like
I think it's kind of evolving right now, to be honest, because as I said, in April, it was like, let's do a 3-month test with this boutique firm, and realizing pretty quickly that things were going really well. Then starting the discussion of, hey, why don't we form a separate company where we have some equity here, shared equity, and maybe start the physical product piece. So we're doing that. And then as the growth scaled really quickly, now all of a sudden I'm managing more from a customer service or day-to-day perspective that I haven't really been able to now. So again, now trying to offload that so I can go back to doing the other pieces of the marketing from a social media, the organic pieces that I haven't been very good at in the last couple of months, because I had a lot more on my plate. So I think that is it's evolving right now. And as we put the structure in place for this new company, I think that will become clearer.
Got it. Just out of curiosity, like where do you know where to focus on to have the biggest impact on your business?
I don't always. I think it's always, I feel sometimes like it's just whenever I feel like in a day. And I know I have followed people about the best strategy, and I've at the end of the day, I need to go where I feel like, I don't like the word authentic, but I want to go where I really want to be. And so on a given day, sometimes I'm doing a workout. I'm like, oh, this would be great. And I'll just turn the camera on and I'll film something. I have no plan in place I have no previous, schedule about when I've tried all of that before. It just doesn't work for me. So I don't think people should necessarily follow that plan, but that's what I do. I just go where people have messaged me. I'll go there and I'll make a post to answer a question. So I'm a bit of a fly by the mantis.
I understand. And what's the team like? Let's go over to operating expenditures. What's the team size today?
It's just the two of us, just myself and the marketing person, and we're soon going to have the VA, who will be the first person of our team.
Got it. Where do you then actually spend money on?
Well, right now it's ad spend. We're spending a decent amount of ad spend. There's, of course, the expenses of our platforms, all the standard business expenses. But now my business is very different. Last year, my annual revenue was what I did last month. And so all of a sudden things are different. And now looking at how can we leverage that and now say, okay, what else can this business, maybe it's rental properties, maybe it's real estate becomes part of the business. Who knows? So just kind of exploring that right now.
Just real quick on what's your philosophy on return on ad spend? Do you look to break even on the first payment, or what's the philosophy there?
That's not my wheelhouse, but I'll tell you from what gets communicated to me from my partner and the metrics, it's really wanting to get the ROAS, return on ad spend, somewhere like 2 would be a bare minimum, but somewhere like 2.5 if we get up to 3. So we kind of hover in that 2.5 to 3.
That makes sense to get an instant return. Makes sense. Okay, cool. Let's talk about the future. Do you think you can grow it by 10x by yourself?
By myself with a partner?
Yeah. Let's count them in. Or
with that?
We count the partner in.
Yes.
Okay, great. And what's then the best strategy to win big in the next 12 months?
Get a really solid shareholder agreement and business structure in place, and continue to. He's very good at figuring out the A/B testing, what's working, what's not, and playing around with all that, and continuing to fine tune our the emails within the funnel. So right now we have a good uptake for that initial order bump. We don't have as high of an uptake to the yearly membership as we would like. Right now it's about 15%. So there's a huge opportunity there to get more people converting. So we have to figure out how to do that. So that's going to be our secret sauce to work on.
Makes sense. And what's the biggest thing that is holding you back right now?
Well, right now, the customer service piece is, as soon as I can get some help with that will then open up my opportunities to do other parts of the business. So, manpower right now.
Clear. Let's move over to the famous 5. What's your favorite business book?
Profit First.
Oh, I read that as well. Nice. And what's the favorite person you're studying?
From a business perspective? Or anybody?
Let's take both.
Well, honestly, business-wise, I'm studying my partner. It's the first time that I have worked with somebody who is so... he just brings an amazing strategy. And so I'm learning a lot from him and the way he crafts emails. So I would say I'm studying him from a business perspective. And then I study a lot of people from a health and wellness. I'm women's health. I'm also very close to finishing my certification as a menopause support practitioner. So I listen to a lot of podcasts in the health and wellness and biohacking space. Dr. Stacy Sims is one person who I really, really love. Dr. Amy Horniman from a thyroid perspective. Those are probably 2 that stand out.
Makes sense. Favorite social media channel for inspiration?
I have to say Instagram. It's we're still always default there. I like hanging out there.
Favorite online tool for building your company?
The Passion app. Not just saying that. It totally transformed my business.
Thank you. What's the biggest thing on your mind right now?
I need customer support assistance.
Okay, let's move over to personal. How many hours do you sleep per night?
7 to 8.
Same. And what's the situation? Married, single, and any kids?
Married. My husband is my biggest fan. He is a pilot. He travels a lot. When we first got together, he was an introductory pilot. He made $9,000 his first year. So I was very much supporting us during that time. I would say he has supported us primarily like for the last kind of 10, 15 years. I chose to be home with the kids and do this side business. So it's now turned into a big thing. And now the roles are switching again, where I'm all of a sudden earning more than him. And I have 2 kids, 19, he's in his second year university, and 16, almost 17, finishing high school.
Amazing. And what's your age then?
I'm 52.
Nice. Very good. Okay, because we also want to get some advice, right, to the audience. So if you could go back in time and have a conversation with your 20-year-old self, what's the best piece of advice that you would give to your younger self?
The best piece of advice, there's no rush to become an adult. I think I was very focused on needing to find a partner, needing to define what I was going to do for the rest of my life. And I didn't necessarily enjoy the ride as much. And when I think about all the things I did, none of them necessarily were training me or preparing me to become, well, maybe they all were preparing me to become an entrepreneur, but I had no sights on that even being a possibility. So I think I would just say, slow down, enjoy the ride. There's no rush.
Thank you, Kim. So Kim is known as the Vagina Coach. She was before a personal trainer. She now makes all her money online, purely digital. Introductory offer, one time $17, and then recurring $147 for the annual price, and $27 a month for the monthly. She uses ClickFunnels and then Kajabi and delivers the value through her own Passion app. She is leveraging email funnel, but also a partner who does paid marketing for her, mainly on Meta, Instagram, and Facebook. Business is growing crazy, bringing in 1,500 customers a week currently in. There's a profit share agreement in place between her partner and her. All over on social media. Kim's audience is 200K. Instagram is the most important channel. YouTube, TikTok might be something to look out for in the future. And right now, the biggest pain is also the customer service piece and getting this solved, because right now she's just her and her partner. And yeah, she's happily married and will now crush it. So thank you, Kim, for sharing your passion with us and taking us to the next level.
Thank you for the opportunity to share and for creating an amazing platform that allows me to do it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
That was Kim Vopni. You learned that she owns her niche, which is huge, and that partnering can have a huge impact on your business. So how can you unlock the next level in your business?